لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين اللهم اجعلنا منهم ومن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر اللهم آمين اللهم آمين اللهم آمين. أما بعد فيقول تعالى في كتابه الكريم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ويقول تعالى في كتابه الكريم قد أفلح المؤمنون. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, the reminder that I have for myself first bi'idhnillahi ta'ala and for all of you here today is twofold. It is twofold. The first part will be a setup, an understanding of a mindset, of a philosophy. And the second will be then the outcome of that understanding. And to look for that guidance, that understanding of thought, we look to the Quran. We look to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That message that will dictate to us what it means to be right, what it means to be wrong. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as our creator will dictate that. And so we look to Surah Al-Mu'minun. In the beginning part of Surah Al-Mu'minun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains to us what it means to be successful. Now these are ayat that many of us have read before, we've heard before, we've understood before. But I want to highlight them in a different light. And we'll see that inshallah in the second part. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He starts off this section by saying, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us what it means, what is the definition of success. Now one thing to note here, right, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to teach us what it means to be successful. Right? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the creator, as your Rabb, will then teach you what it means to be successful and what it means to be unsuccessful. This is key to note, and it's key to differentiate this from what it means for you to be happy or not happy as an individual. Do you understand? So now here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us again what it means to be successful, not necessarily what it means for you to be content. Let me give you an example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to say here, to be successful, you need to receive a good education, and then get a good paying job, and then get a nice house, a nice car, donate to the masjid, and that's successful. That's not what is written here. Right? Surprise. But let's say, for example, that is what someone's goals are in life, what will make them happy and content. Then that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Do what you want. You want to make $1 million? Make $1 million. I don't see what I am. You want to be a doctor? Be a doctor. You want to major in history? Don't. Right? Whatever it is that you want to do, do it. That will make you happy. But understand that now what you've done to achieve your happiness is what you're doing to be content, not to be successful. Your contentment and your success are two separate things. They can be two separate things. Are you understanding the difference now? So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to say, this is what it means to be successful. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Now before we can even get into what it means to be successful, how are you successful? It's important to understand what kind of success Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking about here. See, because in English, it's easy. Success, success. There's only one word for success, and that is success. There's only one way to say it. In Arabic, it's not that straightforward. There are multiple words to use when you want to talk about success. Right? Two of the main ones that are used are number one, najah, and number two, falah. Right? These are the two different words for success. Right? Najah simply just means to achieve your goal and to be successful at that. The other, the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here uses, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ, right? That kind of success is more nuanced. It doesn't just mean success. Right? Because najah could mean someone got successful in a lucky fashion. Now obviously as Muslims, we don't believe in luck. Right? Everything is written from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I'm giving an example. Right? The example, someone got lucky. Right? Someone won the lottery, right? Once again, not halal, it's haram. The lottery is haram, just in case anyone didn't know, right? But I'm just giving an example, right? If someone was to win the lottery, that would be najah, right? Success, right? Overnight success, they didn't do anything, they just kind of got lucky, that's success, that's najah. That is not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what? قَدْ أَفْلَحَ. So this type of success, what is it? There's a nuance, there's a difference. This type of success, for those of you that are familiar with the Arabic language a little bit, you will know that this word shares the same root as the word for farmer in Arabic. The word for farmer in Arabic is fallah. Fallah. Fallah means farmer. So what is the connection between farming and successful? Not all farmers are successful. That's not the connection. Right? What is the connection? The first is understanding how it is that you achieve that success. This success is that success similar to the farmer that it requires hard work. It doesn't come overnight. This is not the, oh, I invested in a company and that company became a multi-billion-dollar company overnight. That's not this success, right? You didn't go on Shark Tank and make a lot of money. That's not this success. This success comes with a lot of work. Think of the example of someone getting a PhD, someone getting a doctorate. You know, they went to school for a long period of time, medical school, right? Law school, etc. You're studying, and then after years and years, if you're a medical student, after 30 years, you're finally a doctor, right? And now you got a job, quote-unquote success. So it comes after a lot of work. This is the first understanding. The second understanding is that there is no gratification until much later on. Kind of connected to the hard work mentality. So for a farmer, if you are familiar with farming and harvesting in any way, you don't put a seed in the ground and the next day you pull out the rumman and go sell it. You don't pull out your pomegranates and sell it the next day. That's not how farming works. How does it work? You put this, first you have to prepare the soil. After you prepare the soil, you put the seed in the ground. You cover the seed. You water the seed. Time goes. You have to make sure it has enough water. If it has too much water, the seed will drown. It won't grow. If it has too little water, it won't sprout. Then when it comes up a little bit, you have to make sure that this small plant is protected. With some fruits and vegetables, you have to put a little stick in the ground. You have to tie, etc., etc., etc. Right? Requires a lot of work. And then finally, after months and months and months and months of babying this plant, you can pull up fruit from it. And then you take it to the market, because some fruits will be good, some fruits will not be so good. And then after all of that work, you can sell it, and now you've gotten your success. Likewise is this type of success. Your fruits of your labor will be seen not today, tomorrow, in the hereafter. And so one of the very key, important things to note that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning, the second He used this type of success, He's immediately highlighting to each of us that your success, your level in this world is not in any way, shape, or form connected to your success in the hereafter. These two things are not connected. So you can pray 5 times a day, on time, every single salah. Give your zakat, do your sadaqah, go for hajj, go for your umrahs, do this, do that, and not have a job. That's perfectly okay. These two things are not connected. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says those who are successful are those who are successful in the long run. That might not mean today. It might mean today. This is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? There is no limit to the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to bless you today, alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah. There were Sahaba that were millionaires and billionaires, right? Abdul Rahman bin Auf, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. By the way, the story of Abdul Rahman is really something that should put a little bit of concern in our hearts. Abdul Rahman bin Auf, we should all know who that is. Abdul Rahman bin Auf was one of the Sahaba who was promised Jannah while he was alive. From the Ashar al-Mubashar. That it didn't matter what he did after that point, the Prophet Muhammad says, you have been promised Jannah. But the Prophet, you know what else he told to Abdul Rahman at a different time? He told Abdul Rahman, Ya Abdul Rahman, you will be the last of my companions to meet me on the Day of Judgment. You will be the last one. And you will come to me on the Day of Judgment and you will be tired and weathered and fatigued from the hardships of the Day of Judgment. This is a man who was promised Jannah by the Prophet ﷺ in his lifetime. Abdul Rahman bin Auf, another interesting fact about Abdul Rahman bin Auf radiallahu ta'ala anhu is the only companion that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ prayed behind in good health. The only other companion is Abu Bakr. But when that happened, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was on his deathbed. Right? He was very ill. He was literally being dragged into the masjid. Abu Bakr was leading. He saw the Prophet ﷺ from the corner of his eye. He took a step back and the Prophet ﷺ said, no, stay and lead. So the Prophet ﷺ was ill. When the Prophet ﷺ was healthy, the only companion he prayed behind one time was Abdul Rahman bin Auf. So you see the level of Abdul Rahman bin Auf. But what did the Prophet ﷺ say? You will be the last of my Sahaba to meet me on the Day of Judgment. He says, Ya Rasulullah, why is that? Why is that? He said, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed you with so much money, you will have to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the money that you made. Subhanallah. Can you understand how many Sahaba there were? At Hajjatul Wada', how many Muslims were at Hajjatul Wada'? Approximately, according to the historians, approximately 120,000 Sahaba. Approximately. That means there will be more than 120,000 people that see the Prophet ﷺ before Abdul Rahman bin Auf, and he was promised Jannah because of his wealth. Because he has to be asked about it. Not because he did something wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. He was promised Jannah. He's like the epitome of good. But this is the level. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here, He dictates to us, He explains to us now, how do you achieve success? We've talked about now what kind of success. This is not the kind of success that, however it is that you've been taught, you've been trained, you've been brought up to understand success. Whatever it is that is, you need to understand that unless it coincides with this, then that will simply be your contentment. It will not be your success. And separate between those two things. So if you would like to be, again, doctor, engineer, businessman, lawyer, whatever, understand that is for yourself. For your nafs, your success is not contingent upon that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues. He says, now you want to know what it means to be successful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it's one word. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Who will be those people who have success? Are those who have Iman. Those who have earned the title of mu'min. Mu'min. That I can look in the mirror and I can say, I am a mu'min. And you know what's the tricky thing about this? The interesting thing about this is that if you can confidently say you have Iman, chances are you don't. Because if you look at the greatest, Islam is different, by the way. We all testify that we believe in no one other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as our deity, as our God, and that the Prophet Muhammad is the final and last messenger of Allah. We testify our Islam is sound. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us our Islam. Ameen. But Iman, mu'min, is now the enactment, the embodiment of that faith. And the greatest of the greats were not confident. The narrations mention that Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu would cry almost every single night making dua. What did I say? Not he made dua every night. He would cry in dua. When was the last time we cried in our life? Umar radiallahu ta'ala would cry every single night in dua, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, do not make me from the hypocrites. Ya salam. This is Umar al-Khattab al-Faruq. The Prophet called him Babul Fitna. Right? That he is the door of fitna. When he passes away, fitna will befall the ummah. Tests will befall the ummah. And he would cry, Ya Allah, don't make me a hypocrite. He was another one of those people that was promised him. So the reality of your Iman is you're constantly working on it. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now gives us a checklist. We understand now, what does it mean to be successful? You are only successful when you have come to the point where you've earned the title of mu'min. Now how do I earn that title? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a checklist. At the top of that list, the first and the most important thing, الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Those who have khushu' in their salah. Now, khushu' is a difficult word to kind of translate. You can understand it as humility, focus, right? However, what I have found to be the most appropriate translation for khushu' in English is present. Present. That in your salah, you are present with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am here, Ya Allah, 100% focus. There's nothing else. There's just me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, he explains what is ihsan, what is the perfection of your faith, is that you worship Allah as if you see Him. Because you know, even though that if you can't see Him, He can see you. So being present. Right? This is sometimes difficult for us, especially in this day and age. You might be sitting with your spouse. You might be sitting with your children. Right? And your spouse will complain. You know, you never spend time with me. Maybe you've heard that complaint. You never spend time with me. And you're sitting right next to that. What does that mean? You're not present. You're on your phone, you're on TV, this, that, or the other. You're not present. You're not there. So those who are present in their salah, they have khushu'. I'm right here. This is, by the way, what we say when we go for Hajj. When we go for Umrah, what do we say? لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك. What does that mean? Ya Allah, we've answered. We're here. Ya Allah, we've answered your call. We're here. We're ready. We're present. That's that reminder. That's supposed to be our salah. First checklist item. Each of these, we're running out of time. Each of these points, we could spend the whole khutbah about, but this is not the intention of the khutbah. We're just getting a checklist. The intention of the khutbah, inshallah, I'll share with you guys in a second. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Those who are present now in their salah. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ. What's the second quality of those people who have received that title of mu'min? Is that they avoid lahu. What is lahu? Something that doesn't benefit your dunya and doesn't benefit your akhirah. Sports. I'm talking to myself, right? I speak to myself first and foremost. Right? The Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is lahu. Right? It is what it is. Now that doesn't mean it's haram to watch the Super Bowl. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ. You avoid lahu. Someone spends, a little bit of time here, a little bit of time there, relaxing. This is fine. Alhamdulillah, relax. But if you're spending, 14 hours a day on NFL Red Zone, or if you're binge watching Netflix TV shows, this is lahu. Something that does not benefit your dunya, nor does it benefit your akhirah. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, one of the qualities of those people who have received that title of mu'min is that they are conscious of their spirituality. They're aware, right? They're moving away from lahu, emptiness, empty speech. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ فَاعِلُونَ. This ayah, in my opinion, is the most interesting ayah of the whole list. Because of the verb that is used, فَاعِلُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says these people are actively purifying themselves. Actively. فَاعِلُونَ. You're always on top of it. Always checking yourself. What can I do to be better? What can I do to be better? What can I do? Always cleaning your heart. Always scrubbing. Always aware. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. And those who guard their private areas. Those who guard it. The Prophet Muhammad says in a hadith, if you want your Jannah to come to you easy, you want to earn your Jannah, guard what is in between your thighs and guard what is in between your jaw. This is your ticket to Jannah. You can do that, your path to Jannah will become significantly easy. Also, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? Those who are now guarding what is in between their thighs. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, now, except, there's a time and place for everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't tell you, it's 100% impermissible to be intimate, never do it, never think about it. That's not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you with feelings. This is fine, you're a human being. But there's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the right way after that. إِلَّا عَلَىٰ أَزْوَاجِهِمْ. In the next two ayahs, He describes that, right? The next quality, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِأَمَانَاتِهِمْ وَعَهْدِهِمْ رَاعُونَ. And those who are honest and trustworthy. Those who are honest and trustworthy. أَمَانَاتِهِمْ, their promises, their amanat, their responsibilities, things that they've been entrusted with. Right? Here, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as-sadiq al-amin, was such. There were people in Mecca that would entrust him with different responsibilities. Some of those people were people that were not even Muslim. After he was a prophet, there were non-Muslims that obviously didn't believe. They saw the Prophet, they didn't believe in the Prophet, and they still trusted him. As-sadiq al-amin. This is what faith is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends with the same thing He started with. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَوَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ. And those who guard their salawat, their prayers. Starting with salah and you're ending with salah. This is the key to your success. If you can get these qualities down, then you've earned the title of mu'min. If you've earned the title of mu'min, what is the result? الَّذِينَ يَرِثُونَ الْفِرْدَوْسِ. Those people will inherit الفردوس, the highest level of Jannah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. My dear respected brothers and sisters, there are countless amount of lessons that we can take from these ayat. So many lessons. Just one of these ayat, if we were to implement it, we could change our lives with just one of them. But why do I bring this up? A couple of days ago, many of you are aware, most of you I'm pretty sure are aware, there was a very famous basketball player who passed away. There was a famous basketball player that passed away. And I was put aback. I was shocked at the response that many of our Muslim youth and adults had to this passing. I'm not saying don't be sad. Emotions are 100% valid. Being sad, that's completely different. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that at all. But the sentiment that surrounded this, again, for the non-Muslim, doesn't matter, not our concern. The Muslim is our concern. And we need to look in the mirror. What can I do to be better? The sentiment was such of losing an idol. Right? Losing someone you really looked up to. I want to be like that person when I grow up. I want to be like that person when I grow up. And subhanAllah, we know, and you can't, our children, we all know how many seasons he played, right? What number was on the back of his jersey, how many points he scored in each season, how many points he scored total, who are his teammates, who is his family. We know what his wife's name is, his children's name. We know all of this. But do we know the name of the wives of the Prophet Muhammad? Do we know the name of the children of the Prophet? All of the children. The Prophet had quite a few children. Do you know all of their names? Do you know the names of the children that the Prophet was the stepfather to? The children of Khadija before he married her? As well as some of the other wives that he married also had children. Do we know their names? Do we know the names of the children of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq? The man who the Prophet said, if you put his iman, his faith on one side of the scale, and you put the whole world on the other side, his would be heavier. Do you know their names? Forget acting like them. Do you even know who they were? Do you know the name of Umar al-Khattab's older brother? Umar had a brother who was also Muslim, and Umar used to look up to him. Umar would say, I want to be like him. Do you know his name? The reason why I bring this up, it is one thing for you and I, if I ask you, what does it mean to be successful? You say, you need to be a mu'min. Now, words are one thing. But if our actions do not match our words, your words become useless. They have no weight. And the sad thing is, why don't we know these things? Because we don't try to learn them. We don't understand success. Our role models are people who have achieved contentment, but not success. This is success. And so if you want to be successful, you must act like the people that are successful. Follow your role models must be successful. But you don't even know your role models' names, let alone what they did. The Sahaba said, we used to teach the seerah to our children the same way we taught them Quran. Yani they would memorize the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. But when was the last time we read the life of the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu? You want to be like the Prophet sallallahu? Do you even know the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu? And so this is why I bring this up. It is important for us to really ask ourselves, what do I believe is success? And do your actions match what it is that you say? Because not only did Allah teach us what success is, He gave us people to act like who were successful. And so are those people my role models? Or are my role models people who I'm not saying are bad people? That's a completely different discussion, a different day, that's not the point. They may have been content, they might have achieved a level of success by other standards, but by a Muslim standards, that's not what we believe to be successful. We believe it to be good. Alhamdulillah, good for him. Right? If someone has those goals in life, alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow you to achieve your goals. But understand, the same thing I started with, I'm going to end with. There's a difference between what it is that you're chasing that will give you contentment in this life, that will give you happiness in this life, and that will give you success. This will give you success. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He can make us all the people that are successful. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He can make us the people that look up and have role models of successful people. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He can make us people that have the title of mu'min. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He can unite us all in the highest levels of Jannah, neighboring the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين اللهم اجعلنا منهم ومن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون وأقم الصلاة